guys, my name is Katie or Kbdoesart, and today I'm going to be walking you guys through how to make a gingerbread house. We made a little gingerbread cookie, so now we need to give him a little house to live in. I think I'll just start with like the base, and then we'll add details on top, and just throw some like basic material on it at the end. So first off, let's go ahead and just start with the base structure of the house, which will be, we're going to use a cube. So go ahead and grab a cube, and then let's go into front view and let's edit it this way. So first let's just take the vertices and scale them out to about that fourth line there. And then I want to take these guys and grab them and move them on up like that. Then let's hold shift, right click, and go over to multi-cut. Hold control and add one in the middle by clicking your middle mouse button. And then let's add one. Actually, that might be good. If you click Q and then select, click and drag like that, click W and push it up, that can go ahead and just be like the front of our little house. Yeah, and then we'll need to bevel it and everything. But I think that's good. You can bring this down a little bit if you don't want it to be so steep. All right, and once you've got the shape that you want, all we have to do is just go to edge mode and select all the edges and then do Control B and we'll bevel it. And then I think I'm going to give it 2 segments. Yeah, that looks good. I'm clicking 3 on my keyboard to see how it smooths out like that. That looks good. All right. Next up, I want to just grab another cube. And we're going to bring it on over here. Just push W and move it. Let's grab these vertices here and drag them on over. Maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and then let's go into side view and select, click and drag to grab all 4 of those. And you want to drag it up to this point right here. All right, and then let's go into edge mode and grab all of those guys and do Control B to bevel them. Give it 2 segments just like the other one. And that's how it's ending up so far. And then really this will just be duplicated. So Control D and push it on over. Which you can also, if you want to make it exact, go to your channel box and you can see exactly how far we moved it on the x-axis. You can copy that and then paste it on in this one, the opposite one, and just do negative that to like make it exact. And then you can Control D, duplicate the front, and push it onto the back as well. All right, so we've got the basic construction of our house so far. It's looking pretty good. I guess next we can go ahead and deal with the roof right here. So go ahead and just take this cube and Control D, duplicate it, and let's push it on up. And press E, and we're going to angle it. Let's move it on over a little bit. All right, and then go ahead, press 1 on your keyboard and go into vertex mode, and let's grab these vertices and bring them on over. So they overlap like that, and then same thing on this side. Grab them and push them until they overlap that front. Not too much, but just a good amount. And then once you like where that's at, actually I think I need to move it over a little bit maybe and push it down. That might be good. And then let's duplicate that, Control D. And then we need to change the rotation to be negative, so it's going the opposite direction. All right, that looks good. And then you can also do the same thing, save the X translate and paste it on here and then do the negative version of it to make it like super exact. I'm going to select them and push them down a little bit. All right. There we go. We got the basics of a house. So if you need a house for anything, there you go. But let's start on some details. I think the first detail we could probably just start with maybe some like cute little windows. So I think I'll probably achieve that with a cube. You can press R and scale it to be a bit smaller or thinner, I guess. And then depending on what type of window you want to do, you can really make it any size. I'll probably make mine about this size. And I will also go ahead and select this face and do Control E to extrude it. And then I want to offset it in to probably about like there. And then let's take this ring and extrude those and up the thickness on it. All right. And then last thing to do is just select all these edges and bevel them. And you can decide to give them 2 segments if you'd like to. All right, and then we can push it a bit more into the mesh. There we go. So that's kind of the basic process of how I'm just going to add some like super small details. It looks like they put like little um, candies underneath, so we can achieve that too with just grabbing a sphere and scaling them down and then just lightly kind of clipping them into our house and then attaching them at the bottom. Or actually, it looks like they even put it like right on, so we could do it like that. And then let's do this in a little bit of a different way. First, let's go ahead and save our scene. Don't forget to do that. That's super important. And then we're going to be doing a duplicate special. So go ahead and click on that option box and it'll take you here. I'm going to try 15 copies, and then I don't want to rotate transform. I want to move transform because I want it to move on the Z axis. Looks like it's going negative. So let's go like negative, maybe like 2. Okay, so that was too much. So let's undo. Let's do negative 0.8. Oh, that's closer. Let's undo one more time. And let's try, I guess, 0.4. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more undo. I'm going to do 0.5 and I'm going to do maybe just 14 copies. Oh, okay, so actually that was too much. So we can keep that and then we can move them over a little bit, maybe like that. And then you can delete these last 2. And then I'm just going to check my outliner to make sure that I didn't make like a ton of extras. No, okay, that looks good. All right, so there's like a quick, easy way to just like add a lot of something. But that looks good. Next, let's see. Why don't we do that roof pattern? That looks kind of cool. So the roof pattern I think I'm gonna do with a torus. So grab a torus, let's move it on over. Let's keep it to be the same rotation. So just copy and paste it on over. and you'll have to change the rotation depending on which one we're doing. And then I want to make, let's go to the attribute editor and go to polytorus 1. I'm going to make the radius maybe 2. Yeah, that looks better. And then I'm just going to get like a good size going here. Actually, maybe try 3. I think 3 might be the way to go. Okay. So first what we need to do is delete part of it. So go into face mode and we're just going to be basically selecting, yeah, probably those guys and just delete them. Actually, I'm going to do one more ring. Yeah, that looks good. And then go to edge mode, double click this edge and do mesh, fill hole, and do the same thing on the other side. Mesh, fill hole. All right, so we've got pretty good object there. And then we can go ahead and move it to be clipping this. All right. So we're going to do the same process that we did before, and we're going to do the duplicate special. So with this, definitely going to need to be more than 0.5. Maybe I guess I'll try 3. And I only should probably need like 4 copies. Oh, okay, I went the wrong direction. So let's try -3. Oh, that's pretty good. It does not need to be that spaced out, apparently. So maybe let's try... Oh, that's too close. Okay, how about -2.5? Oh, actually, that looks really good. Okay, perfect. So let's select these and just push them over a little bit. Nice. And then you can take this and group it. So now it's just a solid group. You could even, if you wanted to keep it all the same, you could do mesh combine. So now it's just like a single mesh in your outliner. Whichever one you kind of prefer. But yeah, so now you can go ahead and duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate it twice. And then just going to bring them down to see how they touch the roof. We'll move this one in a bit. Just like slightly clip that surface. Oh, it looks so cute. All right, so that's looking great. We'll need to duplicate them and throw them on the other side. So you can go ahead and duplicate that. And I feel like we should be able to do like a rotation in a way. Yeah, okay, there we go. So if you do -180 on the y-axis, it'll throw it on that side. And then just try and like mash them, or yeah, try and line them up a bit. And then we can duplicate this one, move it on over, duplicate this one, move it on over. And do the same thing, -180 on the y-axis, and -180 on this one as well. You could probably just do also 180. I don't know why I'm just doing negative, but it worked, so. All right, and then clip that. Looking good. Looks very cute. I guess we could also probably use, let's duplicate this sphere. We could use that sphere as that little detail on the top, if you want to. That's just a matter of like duplicating and moving it. So let me like line it up. There you go. It would be like kind of like that basically. Maybe in a more on top. Which you could do a duplicate special. The setting should save. So if you apply it, it should just continue. Also looks like we need 5. There we go. So now we just have them like that. And then you can group those and duplicate them. The only sucky part about grouping things is it'll change your pivot point. So see how like this group, the pivot points down back to origin. That means that you'll have to manually move your pivot point, or you can just choose to like combine the meshes together. So like this one, I would probably just choose to do mesh combine, and then the pivot point will get reset. But that's kind of up to you. Also, I'm noticing that one of them is not in the group. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we could just mesh combine those guys and then duplicate it. And then it's going to get pushed on over. And this one. All right, and then you can just select these 3, duplicate, and move them on over. Okay. There we go. So we got that basically all done. We can go ahead and add the mince on top. That's going to be a cylinder. You can go ahead, grab a cylinder, and then let's rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis. You can also scale it down a bit since it does not need to be that big. And then let's scale it down a little bit. I think that's probably good. Yeah, because they'll go like that roughly. Let's go into edge mode and double click both of these edges while clicking shift, and then bevel those 2 edges and grab 2 segments, and then they'll kind of end up like that. That looks like a good size. All right, and then I'm going to kind of like offset them between each of these guys. So just duplicate, offset. Actually, I guess we can do another duplicate special because I guess that's technically quicker. There we go. And then you can just delete the last one. But that looks good. Looks really fun. So we've got the roof. Oh, I'm also noticing that we should probably add in like, I want to add in a layer of frosting that's going over the gingerbread. So we could do this a couple different ways. You can do it with a plane. I mean, you could use a cube. I think I'm going to go for a cube. And let's bring it on up here and make it thin. And then let's scale it. Yeah, let's scale it so it's long, just like the house. And then push it like here. Actually, it needs to be a bit longer. Or maybe it's just not centered. Go ahead and just try and get it to the best of your ability. And then I want to take, actually we can put on the symmetry for object, I guess that's object X. Yeah, so put on symmetry for object X up at the top. Then you'll have both these faces selected. All right, and then let's extrude, Control E, up your thickness, and then press W and push them down. That looks good. So now we've got like that layer that we will texture to be frosting. And then I want to extrude this face and just push it on down to cover that little gap. All right. And then you can even take that object and we can assign a new material to it. I usually do shader, AI standard surface, and then let's edit and delete that history, and then it's white right here. So we'll call it white frosting and make it white. I guess I'll turn the roughness down. Yeah. You can also go to Arnold and grab a sky dome light, and then you can see that white is a bit different. Does seem like I need to take maybe these faces and push them up a little bit. There we go. All right. We still have quite a bit more details though, so we don't need to go any further into texturing quite yet. All right. So this could kind of be up to you. If you would like to just copy like this window and duplicate it and just throw it on this side, just rotate it and then push it into the mesh to get two windows. Again, that's kind of up to you on what you choose to do. We can go ahead and also duplicate one of these guys and bring it on up to the front, just like our little reference image. There we go. And then we could take one of these spheres and duplicate it and bring it onto the front. All right, let's go to front view so we can actually get these a bit more centered. All right. And then for this, I would probably do duplicate special, but instead of translating, we'll do something a little different. So first, I want you to click D and move your pivot. So when you click D, you're moving your pivot when it looks like this. So now you can see I'm moving my pivot. So if you move it down here to be in the center of this guy, or at least roughly in the center, then we can rotate it a certain amount and the copies will go around the pivot. There we go. So now you can see how we just easily made rotational copies around that one object. And then you can, of course, click D for the object and move the pivot back. Yeah, so that'll just be click D and move it on back up. The thing that does kind of suck is that it does move the pivot for like each of these guys, so they're all the same pivot. But that can be changed pretty easily. I won't change it because I don't need to move them anymore, but if you guys need help on that, let me know. There are a couple of tricks. All right, I feel like my outliner's getting a bit messy, so I'm just gonna run you guys through how I quickly kind of throw things all in one group. So first I would probably just select all of these guys, including the two on the roof, and let's just group those, Control G, and call this group like, this is actually the gingerbread, so maybe like house base or something. And then this one is a window. If you hold shift and group them, if you hold shift and select them both, you can have them all in one. You can also hold shift and like drag and select to grab these guys. Just make sure you're holding shift, and then we can do Control G, and this will be Windows. This will be group these to be the mints, and then these would be, I don't know, maybe like roof detail or something. And then these guys can just be like the front circles. And then I guess I have all of these as extras. Um, yeah. Okay. This is the icing. All right. Looking good. So this is the front mint. This group I think I deleted, so you can just get rid of that. Same with these guys. When you sometimes it'll, if you delete your construction history, it'll keep that as a group, so you can just delete it since it's not needed anymore. All right, we can go ahead and go back into front view. All right, let's tackle these windows. Oh, I want to go ahead and select these spheres here and duplicate them and then push them on over to be matching on this side. There you go. I don't know why that one's green. Oh well, all right. Okay, let's do the front details. So, oh wait, actually this is gonna bug me. Need to move that in way more. Like about there. And then also move that window in. There we go. Go ahead and grab a cube for that window and the door. I guess we can do the windows first. You can scale it up a little bit, probably about there. And maybe it'll start like here. I'll go into vertex mode and bring these vertices on up. Maybe about that size. Let's get our multi-cut tool and add a middle cut there. Click Q, select this guy, click W, and push it on up to about here. You can also add middle multi-cuts on those guys and push them on up to kind of like round out this area like that. All right, and then let's take this object and scale him down a little bit. I want to take these faces and extrude them and offset them in like that. And then you can select that outer ring and extrude them and up that thickness. All right, and then why don't we just bevel some edges? So select all these like inside edges and this edge and the back edge. And then I also want to select this edge and this edge. You can just select, hold shift and just like double click all of those edges. Control B to bevel them, give them 2 segments, and then click 3 and you'll see how that's rounding out. You can go ahead and press that into the mesh like that. Looking very cute. Actually, bring it out of the mesh a little bit. Okay, so you can go ahead and push that guy into the mesh like that. And then go into front view and you can just duplicate him and move him on over. I guess technically we could also use that shape for the door if you want to just like duplicate it and we can like elongate it. Maybe make it like a little bit wider. And I'm going to attempt to get it in the center. I guess we could also just make it 0, 0, 0, and then push it on up. And bring it on out here. There we go, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to edit this. Okay, We'll make it 2.49 instead. There we go, now it's more even. Okay, so I'm gonna push the door up like just a tad. You can also get rid of that grid on the bottom to see where it is. Let's grab a sphere, duplicate it, and push it on down here. Also, you can click D and reset the pivot. All right, so we have a little doorknob. They also do like a cute little decoration. That's kind of cute. We can do that too. That's just like four of these guys all together. All right, there we go. I'm gonna move it down a tad. All right, there we go. That looks good. We can also duplicate this guy and use it as these little fun accents here on the windows. Don't worry too much about it being like super exact. I think it's a little bit more fun to have it like organic. All right, you can duplicate that and select them all, push them on over. That looks good. Nice. All right, I think what I probably want to do next is just add on the cute little icing, like icicles on the front. So I think I'm going to do that using another cube. So you can grab a new cube, bring it on over. We'll scale it, I guess, in a little bit. I guess first, let's just add a multi-cut going straight down the center. And then straight through like this. And then let's grab this vertex right here and press W and bring him down. And you'll see we're making like a little carrot shaped. I'm also going to click object mode and just scale it in like that. All right, and then let's select all edges and bevel it. There we go. Now we really got an icing shape. I'm going to scale it up a tad. And then this will kind of be up to you on how big or how small you want to make them. That's probably too big, so maybe go like that. I'm also going to scale them down, just be a bit thinner. And I'm going to angle it a little bit. All right, and then a couple different ways to do this. I would probably just, you could do duplicate special. I would probably just like duplicate it and push it down. But you could technically do like a duplicate special and make it like that. So kind of up to you. Again, you don't have to make it like perfect or anything. For this one, I would probably do duplicate special since this one's a little bit more uniform to do the sides. All right, for duplicate special, just take this one, do edit, um, change the rotate back to 0. We'll make it like, I don't know, -1, I guess. And let's do like 10 copies and let's see how that turns out. All right, need to be a bit closer. So undo and we'll do like 20. And instead of -1, we'll do -0.5. Okay, a little too close. So let's undo that. And let's try 0.8. That's good. You can also delete that last one. I'm also going to take this face on the icing. Take these two faces and I'm going to bring them out a little bit just to cover that area. All right, so let's select these guys. Yep, like that. And we can duplicate them, do mesh combine, and then you can move them. You could rotate them, I guess, if you wanted to. All right. I'm just going to do mesh combine on these guys to make it easy too. Okay, there you go. For these guys, we could duplicate, do mesh combine, and then rotate. I guess it might be on X. Oh, maybe it is on Y. And then I want one in the middle. So just duplicate one and then put it there. All right. You don't have to do the little icing things. We'll see how it looks when it gets textured. But I kind of like how that looks. All right. I feel pretty good with where we're at, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start texturing it. All right. Oh, actually, one thing that I want to add is I forgot to add these little candies on the icing on the top. So let's go ahead and just take one of these spheres, duplicate it, and click W, and we're going to just move it on over. And go ahead and click D, and then right-click and reset pivot, and then click W, and now we can move it. All right, and then for this, I think I'm just going to go into front view and just move them like this. So you could just go ahead and duplicate that one, move it, duplicate it, move it, and do your last one. You can put them randomly however you would like. All right, there we go. Now I've got the candies all done on the front. Also, I forgot to add icing on the back. So you can go ahead and select these guys and you can do mesh combine and then you can duplicate them and we'll go ahead and rotate it. I think it would be on the maybe y-axis. Okay, that looks great. And then we can move it into position here. looks like I need to bring the icing out a little bit, which you can just do by grabbing these two faces and we'll just like push them out a little bit like that. And then we can move this. There we go. And then you can do the same thing with the spheres. You can just select them. And then I guess for these, you can duplicate them, Control D, and then do Mesh Combine and move them. All right. And then if you want to add something on the back, we could technically add these windows, duplicate them, Mesh Combine, and then rotate them 180 and then push them back. So there's some like cute little windows on the back. That might be kind of nice. You can also add these guys there too, which I would just duplicate those and move them back. You don't need to combine them. All right, and then if you want to add something else, you could add this decoration on the back. Same thing by just like duplicating it and pushing it to the back. Up to you though. All right, well there we go. So we've got most of it now. Now I guess I'm just gonna go through and texture some things. So let's first do the gingerbread. Also, don't forget to save. So let's grab these guys. All right, that should be all the pieces. Hold right click and do assign new material. We'll do AI standard surface and then we'll call this one gingerbread. And technically we could use something in here to be the gingerbread. Or you could just kind of like texture it to be that brown color. I kind of want to try using the granite because it does this like cool speckled color. Also, we just need to change these colors to be the color of gingerbread. So the base color, make this guy, and then it'll have like dark brown specks, and then maybe like a lighter version like that. I think that looks good. Let's do Arnold render. Oh, okay, yeah, I kind of like that speckled texture. Looks good. I think instead of having two dark ones, like I'll keep that dark one, but then I'll just keep the other one brighter, just by a bit. Okay, got the gingerbread done. We can do these icing curves next, which these were green on the house. So you can just select all of those by holding shift and then assign a new material to them, AI standard surface, and then grab some form of green, preferably pretty bright since it's green icing, and then we'll call this green icing as well. All right, and then, oh, we can texture all the icing as well. So you can select all that. We should have already made an icing one. Oh yeah, so assign an existing material and then do white icing or white frosting. That should be good. Okay, if you click 6 on your keyboard, you can see the colors. Let's go ahead and texture these guys. I think I'm going to texture them the white frosting color, so do existing. Oh wait, I forgot a window. There we go. Do existing and do the white frosting, but then for this door here, let's select the faces in the front and make them green like our picture. Okay, assign a new material to it. Actually, I guess we could make this the same as the green icing. We can do that. All right, and then now we just need to texture all of these fun guys. So these guys are like a light green. So we'll assign a new material to that. And do a version of some light green. These guys are red. So I'll make a red. Okay, and then let's title those. So this is like green candy. And then red candy. And then looks like there's going to be a white candy. So maybe I'll make this like white, green, red, white, green, red. So these two can be white. White candy. I'll make these two green, so that's in just the existing. And then make these guys red, like that. Okay. For these, it alternates, so those guys will be green and red, which will be the same on this side. All right, so that's looking good. Same will happen to the roof. Oh yeah, I didn't alternate the roof. So that means for the roof, what you could do, if your like meshes combine like mine, you would have to go into face mode and then select the faces and hold shift instead of doing the objects and holding shifts, and then just assign the material like that, um, and then do the alternating one and do red. So that's how you would texture them if they're combined like I made them. So just go into face mode, select, hold shift, and then texture. I guess I'll make these red so they alternate, and then select, hold shift, and do green. I'm going to do the rest of the roof, so you just go ahead and catch up when you get there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the front. So it looks like these also just alternate going red, green, red. So you can just select those and do that. I think the back I combined, so you'll have to do the same thing. Just edit it in face mode and hold shift. All right, and then I'm going to do the back ones. All right, that's looking pretty good. So we've got that, and then I guess really the only thing left would be we can fill in this area that's kind of like just like open between the icing and the house, um, which I think I would probably do by maybe just taking this face and this face and bringing them down. That's definitely one way to do it. I kind of like how that's looking. Let's see how it renders. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's take this top thing, the top icing layer, go into edge mode and select all the edges and then do Control B and bevel them. And then we'll see how that's kind of like rounding out. Then what I want to do is take these inside faces right here and on this side. And I want to drag those down just a little bit to kind of get like that little arch there. And then we can move these guys to go on that icing strip like that. And same thing on here. There we go. All right, that feels a little bit more uniform. I kind of like that. All right, I guess last thing is just the mints, which I have not textured a mint before. Um, I mean, we could just do like the really simple way of doing like every other face. But there is like this really fun like twist element that I like about it. Um, which I think like we could technically get by literally just twisting the faces. I guess let's try it. Okay, so first what I want to do is actually let's just move this up and away for a little bit. What you're gonna do is go into face mode and you're going to select and double click while holding tab. So select and double click, just to get like that whole ring around, which we can also double check on this one. Okay, and then you're going to assign a new material on it. Actually, I guess I could just make it the red candy because it is red. And then you'll do the same thing on the opposite. This time, of course, you'll do the white candy. Assign existing, do the white candy. Okay, and then let's select all these interfaces. Actually, yeah, that kind of works. So I think what I would do is let's do Control E. We'll just keep it as one division. I don't know why it's doing 60. We'll offset it in a little bit, and then you'll take these faces and twist them. Offset it again. Still just one division. And press E and just rotate it again a bit. There we go. Now we kind of got like a sort of spirally going on. And then we can just duplicate this one and repeat it. Also, I guess I could make a green one. If you duplicate that one, I think we'll just have to like retexture it. So probably like go into face mode, double click all the red ones. And then just apply the green candy texture to it. And then we have a green one. All right, and then let's duplicate and move it. Duplicate and move it. And duplicate this one. And then this guy will go in the front, so just duplicate another one. And center that guy. And then duplicate it one more time. And we'll move it on to the back and rotate it 180 on the y-axis and push it into the mesh. All right, let's save and then go to Arnold Render and see how it is turning out. Oh, it's looking so cute. Let's give it a little floor to sit on. Doesn't really matter what kind of floor you give it to, but kind of just add something different into the scene. You can see how it's balancing light and things like that. All right. I know this one was a bit long, so awesome job on sticking through it. Um, I think it turned out really cute. I really like how it finalized. If you have any questions on anything, let me know. I would love to hear them. Also, I think what I might do is elongate that just a little bit so that the siding comes over the icing like that. So just like click R and scale it up to be a little bit longer. But yeah, that is about it. That is the end of this tutorial. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, or feel free to DM me on Instagram. Um, I also just started a really cool newsletter to kind of show you guys like what I'm doing each month and what tutorials you can be looking forward to. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description below. There's also, um, I have a virtual tip jar open now for you guys. Um, just a lot of fun stuff going on. So you can also follow me on TikTok. I've been making some really cool, just like short videos, either like tutorials or just like fun little 3D jokes and things you might enjoy. So that is also in the description. But yeah, I hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Bye guys!